All right, what's going on there, boys? I've got a bit of an update for you with the direction of the training. Bit has changed. I get to do a bit of a higher level contest than anything I've done prior. I get to compete with guys like Kevin Ferris, right? Like a world's strongest man level guy, a bunch of like really, really good 105 kg guys. The contest that I get to do is like kind of putting a bit of a feeler out there for more high level shows with a 275 weight class because historically, generally, it goes straight from 230 to the open. Somehow, little old me, gets to do this, and I would like to represent myself well. So I have hired a coach. So we're putting the road to 405 on pause. We'll get that done. Don't worry. I'm hell bent on keeping my undefeated streak on Road 2 series actually getting completed, but I would like to represent myself well. So I was like, well, first, shit, got to put the road to 405 on halt, start training like more strongman specific, so to speak. No Rainier this year because that wouldn't really shake out very well time wise. Let's focus on getting ready. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to avoid making the beginner mistakes with a bunch of these events I've never done before. I'm going to get a coach. Those of you who know, what I think about who's doing stuff well in strongman, you can guess who the coach is. We'll talk about that potentially on Monday when I'm starting up the program. We can get into that. But I thought I'd give you guys an update because I know a lot of you like following along with the road to 405. Do not worry. I will not forget about it. Kind of where I'm at mentally with it is I'm going to go give it everything I got, focus on, generally coaches make the worst athletes. So I have mentally steeled myself to not be neurotic, not be thinking about programming. My job is to put the athlete hat on and execute the program really well. Ask the right questions, give the right feedback. Don't be a pain in the ass. And do justice to the program because I know the program is good, right? That's easy buy-in for me. Yeah, so I've kind of steeled myself to be Sam the athlete, not Sam the self-coached guy, which is a new one for me. But I think I've gone through the mental preparation to do that well. And I think what I'll do is I'll give this really everything I've got. See how I do, see how far I am off some of these high level guys. Maybe, oh man, like I'm only a year away from being like pretty good at this. Or it's a reality check. You got 3 years of head down work. And also I'm going to see how much I enjoy it, right? If I enjoy it quite a bit, I'm getting up there. We'll keep rocking and rolling and try to progressively compete in higher level contests. We'll talk about it on Monday, but my coach, one of his things is not competing overly frequently, which is kind of contentious among a lot of top coaches. Some guys say compete a lot, get a lot of experience. Some guys say, hey, compete a little bit less often and give yourself more time to build between contests. I mesh well with that quite well. One of many reasons I picked the fella. So yeah, if I don't enjoy it, the other thing I would consider is going all in and doing a powerlifting meet with Max, right? Train together 5 days a week with Max. We've got his program pretty dialed. It works fairly well for me. I would make some small adjustments, but that's kind of my plan, right? Is go all in, see how I do here. If I'm having a good time, keep rocking and rolling. If I didn't find it to be as enjoyable, maybe go all in for a powerlifting prep with Max and see where I can get. And that's kind of my plans. The other thing I was doing this morning that I wanted to talk to you guys about is I'm not sure you can hear it in my voice, bouncing back from being pretty sick. One of the things that happens, appetite falls off a cliff, right? We've all kind of built our way up over time to the ability, whether it's to stay disciplined, eating clean food, or to push through more clean food if you're someone whose appetite is not necessarily the best, and your appetite falls off a cliff. And then it's really tough to get back to regular eating because that appetite is just not there. And people will try to jump into a day of eating, fail, miss a meal because they just can't get ready to eat again because their meals are too big. The easiest and the smartest way to do this is to keep your meal frequency, dial back the meal sizes. You'll find in no more than a week you're back to your normal food quantities. Like cut your meals in half. Eat these little half meals. You'll be hungry again soon because there's not very much food. And then each day by day, add some size back to those meals. Start with frequency, rebuild your food quantities. You can get back on track a lot quicker. You're like, oh, I was locked in my diet and then I fell off a cliff. Get the meat frequency locked back in, then dial up the quantities as you feel hungry is a lot better kind of re-ramp into the diet, especially if you're someone who finds themselves having to eat an inconvenient amount of clean food to potentiate their training. Doesn't even necessarily mean a surplus, right? Maybe if you just know you're eating the stuff you should eat, even just maintenance in that food is a bit of a chore for you. Just like how after, depending on how sick we get, maybe we can jump right back into where we left off, or if we get pretty sick, we want to have like a little re-ramp, and then we pick up where we left off with training. But that little re-ramp, you could build that ramp into your diet as well. So I figured I'd mention that to you guys because I'm doing that right now, and I hadn't heard someone talk about that.